8 quarterbacks since 2023. 8. We've become the biggest joke in the NFL, but the clown show has to end right now. The Geno Smith era last year was a nuclear disaster that almost imploded Raider Nation for good, but fate, or our complete incompetence on the field, handed us the #1 overall pick in the 2026 draft. The million-dollar question: is Fernando Mendoza our savior, our new franchise quarterback, or just another mirage in the desert to break our hearts? And more. Are the media analysts holding out on us about his real ceiling in the pros? To top it off, what did our GM John Spytek let slip behind the scenes at the Combine that could forever change Max Crosby's destiny and our trenches? Buckle up and smash that like button, because what I'm about to tell you changes everything for the Raiders. Pay close attention, because this is the bombshell that will define our next decade. Vegas's worst-kept secret isn't what happens at the poker tables. It's the fact that the Las Vegas Raiders are taking Fernando Mendoza with the first overall pick. That's right. The kid from Indiana, Heisman winner, undefeated national champ. The guy who was heading to Yale and decided to destroy college defenses instead. Mel Kiper Jr., the absolute godfather of the draft, went on the Rich Eisen show and laid it out. We are truly blessed to be in this spot. My immediate reaction? I'm hyped, but I've been burned before. We brought in Geno Smith last offseason thinking he was the fix, and it was a historic embarrassment that's still hard to swallow. The guy didn't deliver. The pressure ate him alive, and the season went down the drain. But now, the landscape is totally different. Kiper dissected Mendoza's game, and what drives me crazy with hope is one crucial stat. He drastically cut down his sacks from his time at Cal to his magic year at Indiana. You know what that means in practice? Elite processing. The kid makes decisions under pressure and doesn't panic. He was clutch all year long. Doesn't just hand the ball over to the defense for free, and when the pocket collapses, he breaks you with his legs. For everyone crying that Dante Moore went back to Oregon, wake up. Mendoza was already by far the best in the class. The impact this has on our salary cap and the roster is colossal. Having a rookie quarterback on a rookie deal means we don't have to torch our cap space on washed-up veterans who don't produce. This changes the front office's math entirely. Our head coach, Clint Kubiak, finally has a diamond in the rough in his hands to build his offensive scheme from scratch. My raw, unfiltered opinion: we can't let the front office off the hook if they ruin this ecosystem. The table is set. Raider Nation has the right to celebrate today because the guy is passionate and brings endless energy. But we have an obligation to hold them accountable tomorrow. Geno Smith was a stupid shortcut. Mendoza is the real rebuild. If Kubiak doesn't get this kid playing lights out with the weapons we have, we're firing everybody before Thanksgiving. If you thought the shock value stopped there, and we were already ordering Mendoza's bust for Canton, hold on to your hats. The insiders started chirping at the Combine in Indy, and the controversy is already blowing up on social media. Albert Breer and the heavyweights at NFL Network, like Daniel Jeremiah and Todd McShay, came out to rain on our parade. The narrative gaining traction in the hallways is this: Mendoza is the undisputed #1 pick, but he's not a generational prospect. They say he's no Andrew Luck from 2012 or Trevor Lawrence from 2021. And worse, they claim he doesn't touch the absurd physical talent of Patrick Mahomes or Josh Allen. Hold up. Are you kidding me? These guys want to tear the kid down before he even puts on the silver and black helmet. McShay had the nerve to say that if you take the last 5 draft classes from 2022 to 2026, Mendoza would only be 4th or 5th on the list, sitting behind Caleb Williams, Jaden Daniels, and Drake May. This has already caused a massive split in our fan base this morning, with people calling our #1 pick a consolation prize. But let's separate the smoke from reality. Daniel Jeremiah broke down the tape and pointed out exactly what will make this kid win in Vegas: mental and physical toughness. The guy is 6'4", 225 pounds, has lightning-fast hands, and stands tall in the pocket, taking hits without blinking. He is an absolute maestro in RPO, run-pass option plays. The real challenge, scouts are pointing out, is that Indiana's offense was so RPO-heavy that he's going to need to prove he can master complex NFL routes and reads from a traditional dropback. Honestly, I couldn't care less if the TV suits consider the 2026 class weaker. We only have the #1 pick because we were a walking disaster. If you're the Las Vegas Raiders, you don't think twice. You draft Mendoza and you count your blessings. You don't get the chance to grab the best QB in the country every day. Forget about comparing him to the past. We need an unquestionable starting leader, a winner. And Vegas needs winners to stop being humiliated in this damn division. Now, turn on your radar and pay close attention, because this third piece of news is the one that emotional fans are letting slip by while they only talk about quarterbacks on Twitter. Our general manager, John Spytek, spoke out at the Combine and tipped his hand on what our survival strategy will be. And look, the message to the locker room was heavy, and it directly affects the life of our warrior, Max Crosby. For anyone lost out there, we have exactly 10 picks in this draft. 10 bullets in the chamber. Spytek knows our draft last year fell short, and the front office's margin for error has evaporated. He was bombarded by the press about what he's looking for in the new face of the franchise, and the answer was an indirect love letter to Mendoza. He demanded a tough-as-hell leader, obsessed with the sport, a maniacal preparer, and humble. He practically recited the psychological profile of Indiana's number 15. But our roster issues run way deeper. Spytek made it crystal clear that the team isn't just a QB, and we know where it really hurts. The offensive line. It does absolutely no good to draft a monster tight end and a running back in the first round of previous seasons, and put a genius kid under center if the trenches are a sieve. We need elite bodyguards. And this is where Max Crosby also enters the equation. Our Condor has been carrying this pathetic defense on his back for years, leaving his heart and soul on the field. The front office needs to use this mountain of picks lethally. Spytek warned that he's keeping an eye on players who got that extra COVID rule year in college. Battle-tested, gritty guys who come to the NFL ready to play and hit hard. That is the golden key. We need blue-collar workers on the offensive line and real partners to take the double teams off Crosby on defense. If Spytek messes up the trenches and throws these 10 picks in the trash again, he might as well clear out his desk. The moment of truth has arrived for this franchise. To wrap up this madness, Fernando Mendoza is practically the new king of Las Vegas. The media is doing backflips to dim the kid's shine, and our GM has 10 crucial picks in the draft to armor plate our new QB and save Max Crosby's back. There's no room for error. The rebuild has already begun. Now the responsibility is yours, Raider Nation. Sound off down below. With this scenario and the #1 pick locked in on Mendoza, would you rather use the rest of this truckload of draft picks to build a young, impenetrable offensive line from scratch? Or do you want to see the front office burn these picks to go after a heavyweight free agent for the defense? Whatever the cost. Drop your comments right now. Defend your take and just win, baby.